What's up, guys? Welcome to day 4 of the Keto Rewind CLEAN 30. You're doing it, day 4. Remember, I'm posting ahead of you, and the reason is to make sure that you can see what I'm doing and how I make the recipe, how I log the recipe, so that when it's your day 4, you know what to do. So, but first things first, remember, this is the meal plan that I'm doing with my husband, and I'm sharing it with you. You do not have to copy it word for word. You can be inspired by it. You can just use this as a challenge to eat clean. But overall, you don't have to do everything I do. Swap the veggies, swap the meats, whatever, make it fit into what you can do. But if you are interested in trying new foods and stuff like that, give it a try. And then also, because it's hard to get stuff at the store, another reason to swap stuff and not stress about it. But anyways, let's get into making lunch today. Remember, I have a 16/8 fasting window, so that means I have been fasting since 8 o'clock last night, and at noon is when we're gonna start eating for the day, or feasting for the day. And I cut it off at it's usually 7, but 7 or 8 p.m. is when I cut off the window and I resume fasting. But anyways, this is day 4, and let's go right into making some lunch. All right, we're gonna do some breakfast sausage links. The macros for these, in 2 links, there's 7 grams of protein and 8 grams of fat, no carbs. Real clean ingredients. I really like this brand. You can find it at Sprouts, I know for sure. So I'm gonna do 2 sausage links and 2 eggs. So I'm gonna fry them up in some butter, and I'll be right back. So here we are. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of pink salt, if I can get the lid off. Some pink salt on my eggs. And then I'm gonna do some fresh pepper, and I'll be back when this is done. Okay, and here is lunch. I ended up having 4 of the sausage links because my macros accounted for it. So yeah. I'm going to put the macros at the end of the video, but here is lunch. I will see you at snack time. Okay, so let's go ahead and log breakfast, or I should say lunch, and my coffee, and then we will be on our way. So I have 3, I know I said in the meal plan I had 3 eggs and 3 sausage, but I just changed the quantities. It's no big deal. It's what I was feeling for. And I wanted that. So I changed it to 2 eggs. So we're going to add till today. And I cooked them in butter. Like I said, I've been using this all week, so it will be listed in your recently viewed. So there's a 1/2 tablespoon of butter that I cooked my eggs and sausage in. And then I will search, well, just so you can see, you can scan the package. If you get the sausage links, you can scan the barcode using this feature right here. Or you can type it in and search it, or because I have this often, it's in my recently viewed. So I'll go ahead and search it so you can see another version. But Peterson's mild sausage and mild breakfast sausage links. So click that one. I had 4 links. And then you can see what it does for the macros. That's 32 grams of fat, 26 grams of my 95 grams of protein, and 390 of my 14 calories. Now, tonight's dinner is going to be egg noodles. So I'm adding protein in the form of egg noodles, literally eggs. So that's why I backed off on the egg for breakfast, because I'm having for lunch plenty of eggs. So it'll all make sense, but right now that's why I did that. So we're gonna go ahead and log the afternoon coffee, which is in my foods. I've created a recipe for this. I have this every single day in the afternoon. So let's see, Keto Rewind, coffee with heavy whipping cream, and I'm gonna add till today. And next we will go make dinner. Now, these egg noodles are gonna change your life, I promise. So, all right, so let's go make those, and then we will resume tracking macros after dinner. Okay, so we have leftover zucchini in the fridge. I'm gonna make egg noodles out of some eggs. I have about a half an onion left. White onions are lower in carbs. I have about this much left of a coleslaw mix, and I have some peppers. And in my sink, I have some chicken defrosting. So we're gonna make a stir fry out of all of this stuff. So let's get to dicing it all up. All right, we're gonna start off by dicing up all of our vegetables so that they are the same size. That's the most important. This way they cook evenly. We have zucchini, onion, red pepper, and green pepper, all diced up, similar sizes. About 1.5 pounds, almost 2 pounds of chicken diced up. And then obviously that's already diced up. It's just cabbage. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the egg noodles. Okay, the most exciting part of this dish is the egg noodles. And you're literally going to make these egg noodles, these keto egg noodles, out of purely eggs. So I roughly did 2 eggs per person. So if depending on how large or small your family is, do 2 eggs per person. And then I just whisked them all together. I did not even add any salt. I didn't add any spices. It's just eggs. So we're going to make like a crepe style, omelet style egg, because we want these really thin so that we can slice them. So I just took a little butter and just wiped the pan with it. I ended up not having to do that with each one, but I guess it just depends on how sticky your pans are. So I poured about the amount of 1 egg in the pan and swirled it around, so kind of like you would make a crepe, and just keep swirling until it stops like being runny. And just swiggle your pan, you know, just let that all just cook, but gently cook. You don't want to burn it. You don't want any browning on it. You just want it just, you know, solidified. And then it should move around in your pan when it's truly ready to flip. So at this point, I'm just going to grab a spatula, and it's a little tricky, but it stays together enough that you can flip it and fix it, you know. Woo, I got it. So look at that. So you want it to look like that. It's cooked on both sides. It didn't take but maybe a minute to do each one. So this was pretty quick. Say hi to my dad. He was still here at this point. He was just cooking up the chicken for me. Obviously this video was recorded before they left our house. But there's the stack. You keep repeating this process until you're out of egg mixture. And I got about, I want to say it was like 8 or so of them. So it doesn't really matter. Just wanting to get an average of like 2 eggs per person to make the noodle. So at this point, all of them are done, and you're going to stack them on top of each other and roll them pretty tightly, because we're going to slice this very thinly. So you're going to make like a burrito shape with the whole stack, and then you're going to get your sharpest knife, which I probably should have sharpened my knife before I did this, and make these smallest or the thinnest little strips of noodle. So, and do it the whole way, and concentrate on making your noodles real thin. You could make them thicker, but to make it look like a true noodle, I wanted them pretty thinly sliced. And it's slicing all of them at one time. And I was very impressed with how well these noodles held up. I thought they were just gonna fall apart. They stayed together really nicely. So I was impressed with this freaking keto noodle. The amount of recipes I'm imagining to use with this is out. I just can't even. I'm so excited. So that's the finished product of what the actual egg noodle is. It truly resembles what you would think of a noodle, and that obviously way healthier. So I'm going to finish this stir fry in the pan. I have the chicken's been pulled and set aside until it's all together. We'll throw it together. But just so that everything cooks through, and we'll meanwhile make the stir fry sauce. I have a 1/4 cup of coconut aminos, which is in replacement of soy sauce. And then I have about a teaspoon of garlic, and then a teaspoon of monk fruit sweetener, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of, it was a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. The sesame oil I probably should have measured, but I was aiming for about a 1/2 teaspoon of sesame oil. It gives it a great flavor. This is just what I do. You pick your own spices, but then I did about a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, and then turmeric. I love turmeric. I was aiming for a 1/2 teaspoon here. I should have measured, I know. But I love the flavor of turmeric. If you don't, just leave it out. And then whisk those ingredients all together. I'll put the exact recipe down below in on my site with the link. So don't worry about having to write it down. Just go to ketorewind.com, use the link I have below, or just watch it. So there's the veggies. I wanted to leave them with a little bit of a bite, so I didn't cook them as much as I normally do, but they've come together nicely. So now we're going to add the chicken back to the pot, give it a good stir so that all ingredients are incorporated. And also I just used some avocado oil in there. And then when I'm all done, when everything's heated through, I'm just going to add the stir fry seasoning mixture. And you can completely skip that step out if you want. At this time, I wanted to have the little stir fry sauce, but it's a completely optional step. You can leave that out entirely. And then once all the stir fry sauce is mixed into everything, we're going to add the noodles in there. And I was expecting the noodles to fall apart, but they didn't. I used tongs just to give them a good toss so that everything's coated. But seriously, this was so tasty. So tasty. And it looks like you're having pasta, so, the whole thing. But it was loaded with protein, loaded with flavor, and I would make this again in a heartbeat. So there's the finished product. And this, I made about 6 servings total when I calculated the macros. Okay, so let's log that chicken stir fry with the keto egg noodles. So first, we're going to create a recipe. So you can see this is a shortcut here. You can hit create recipe. We're going to call it Keto Rewind egg noodles with chicken. Keto Rewind egg noodle stir fry. There. So this is going to make 6 servings. I'm not going to bother doing the icon thing, but you can totally do that. And let's put the ingredients in there. So first things I need to do is add the chicken. So Kirkland boneless. No, let's just do chicken breasts. And the first one, and it was 2 pounds. After looking at my notes, actually, let's just change this to a 2 and change this to a pound. So 2 pounds, add. The next thing we're going to do is add the eggs, pasture raised eggs. I put 10 eggs in there total. And obviously you would adjust this to the quantities that you did. The next thing is, let's do the fat. So avocado oil. I have the chosen, yep, there it is. And I put 4 tablespoons. Just measure anytime you add any more, or you just write it down. So I ended up doing 4 tablespoons. There might have been a 5th one, but we're just gonna leave it at 4, just to make things easier. And the next thing is we're gonna do is peppers. So I did red pepper, raw, and it was about a cup of red. Same with the green pepper. Raw. And I had 1 cup. And if you want to do them all green, that would be the ideal way to do it. Zucchini. Raw. And I didn't measure this one, so we're going to call it a medium-sized, 2 medium-sized. And then we had onion, raw. And we did a 1/2 an onion. So we're going to just back this out all together. Change this to a 1/2, change this to a medium-sized onion. It would have been better if I had actually measured that, but I forgot to. Cabbage. We had about 2 cups of cabbage raw. It was thinly sliced. It was actually a leftover from a, what did I call it? Like a the protein power plate from this week. It was left over. And I had 2 cups left over of thinly sliced cabbage. And then the next thing is the coconut aminos, which replaces soy sauce. And I use the Bragg brand, and I put a 1/4 cup. So we're gonna just put this to a 1/4 cup, add, and then we'll do these spices. We did the Keto Golden, I think it was called. Yep, and I put it 1 teaspoon. And then we have garlic powder. Great Value brand is fine. I put a 1/2 teaspoon in. And then onion powder. And I did a 1/2 teaspoon of that. And then ground ginger. I did about a 1/4 teaspoon, not much. Oh wait, that's the tablespoon. Remind me, I have to go back in there. Oh, I can fix it right here. Right now it says tablespoon, it was a teaspoon. That does matter. There we go. Ground ginger. And then sesame oil. And I did a 1/2 teaspoon. And then turmeric. Did I spell that wrong? T-U-M. There we go. Let's see if this is the right one. Tablespoon. Nope, we need to change that to teaspoon. And I did 1/2 teaspoon. All right. Let me see if I've got everything now. We have chicken, the eggs, the fat, red, green, zucchini, onion, cabbage, coconut aminos, the Keto. I think we have everything. So hit save. And now we go into dinner and we're going to log dinner. I actually had 1.5 servings because it was so good. It blew my mind. And plus I had room in my macros. So another reason you can, if you track your macros ahead of time, you'll know how many servings you can have. So 1.5 servings today. I think I logged something wrong. 1.5 servings. Yeah, something's wrong. Definitely something's wrong. So when that happens, go back into the food and just find out where the error is. And let's edit the nutrients. For 6 servings, 2 pounds of chicken, 10 eggs, 1 cup pepper, 2 medium, 1.5, 2 cups, 1, oh my goodness, 1.25. There's our problem. So there was a 1/4 cup, so I forgot to back out the 1. So total is a 1/4 cup, edit, save. And now we go back into that. I probably have to get it, delete it and re-put it back in. So let me delete that and redo it. So add foods, my foods, now that it's been edited. I don't know if I just edited the recipe or what, so I may have to do this one more time, but let's see. So 1.5 servings, add to today. There we go. So here's my day. 16 of 19 net carbs, 81 grams of 100, you can have a total of 118 for me. This is my macros. So I was a little over in protein, little under in fat. I'm okay with being under in fat. I'm okay with being slightly over in protein. It's not the end of the world. It's like 6 grams over it. We're talking very, very few. And 1,200, a little low on the calories today, but I felt fine and I'm cool with that. So I aim to at least hit 1,200 calories a day. I stay within a 12 to 1,500 calorie range per day in general anyway. So it's based off of my activity. So today I didn't walk, so 1,200 was more than enough that I needed. So anyways, okay, well, that completes day 4. What did you think? Also, if you need any support or you want some help, you can leave a comment here, or you can join my Facebook group, Keto Rewind and Support. And I will see you on day 5. You're watching Keto Rewind, and I'm Jess.